why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do. I really felt like, I think I started to really feel this need to express myself on another level when Trump was running for office and I liked him.
Yes.
And every single person in Hollywood, from my ex-wife to my mother-in-law to my manager at that time to my so-called friends slash handlers around me, told me, like, if I said that I like Trump, that my career would be over, that my life would be over.
Welcome, welcome, people. Thank you guys for tuning back in. Today, we are going to talk about Kanye West and the shit show and the firestorm he definitely lit off this past week. I know I'm a little bit late to the party, but I figured I'd definitely jump on this boat for sure. So last weekend, I believe sometime, Kanye West, he had his Yeezy fashion show in Paris. And during this fashion show, he and the famous Candace Owens decided to wear White Lives Matter shirts. Now, this caused a lot of backlash from them, from the society, the wokety woke media and everything. Me in particular, personally, I didn't like the move. I got their sentiment. They've always been, they're staunch Republicans, especially Candace Owens. If you don't know anything about her, she's definitely a far right activist, beautiful, attractive black woman. But I think some of her motives are definitely offset and off-putting, and just the nature in which I get she wants, good for, better for black people. Kanye, it seems like he wants better as well. But I'm not sure if this was the way to do it, and I'm pretty sure they're going to live to regret this decision. Both of them locked arms, and they basically Kanye basically made these shirts during the Paris fashion show, and got some mainstream celebs there, and some people walked out like Jaden Smith, and it really caused an uproar. It really did. I'm going to show you guys a couple of clips where basically Kanye talks about this, that, and the other, from everything from religion to politics to Kim Kardashian having her 40-something-year-old ass out, his kids, his beliefs, and everything.
So you made reference to the White Lives Matter T-shirt, which you brought out at Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right. It's using a gut instinct, a connection with God, and just brilliance. Like, as if you asked, like, Tanya Harding how she did the triple flip or the triple spin. She was in so much practice that when it was time for her to skate in a competitive format, it just happened. Like, it happened outside of practice. It happened in the real format, and that's what's happening. Is God is like preparing us for the real battle. Kim is a Christian, but she has people who want her to go to Interview Magazine and put her ass out while she's a 40-something-year-old multi-billionaire with 4 black children. And this is how fashion wants to, how they want to present her.
It's not the fact that they wore the White Lives Matter shirts. It's the intention behind it, and they definitely knew that there was going to be a big uproar regarding this.
They said stuff like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. They threatened my life. They put my life. They basically said that I would be killed for wearing the hat. I had someone call me last night and said anybody wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be greenlit, and that means that they're going to beat them up if they wear it. And I'm like, okay, green light me then. God builds warriors in a different way.
And like I said, I get their sentiment. They were trying to combat Black Lives Matter. But to do that and do this in this type of fashion probably wasn't the most professional way, especially in the society and the culture that we live in, because um, you know it's somewhat glorifying white supremacy to a degree. I don't see that. We have Black Lives Matter on T-shirts. Why can't we have White Lives Matter as well? But I think put in this context, um, it really sets it apart. Now, say if there was a group of people, individuals, and there was a festival or whatever the case may be, where people came together, and there was, for instance, say there was like colored shirts or something like, White Lives Matter had the white sweater and it said White Lives Matter, Brown Lives Matter had the brown sweater. Black Lives Matter had the black, something of that. So it definitely matters in context. In this one, it didn't, because it was definitely putting one above the other. And in America, it seems like this has always been the case between black and whites. It seems like there's been other races in America, but blacks and whites been going at it for some time, man. Kanye isn't effectively in the motion of getting canceled. He, Gap wasn't gonna put up with this anyway. But Gap, he broke off supposedly in a meeting. He's doing some pretty erratic stuff. He's a self-proclaimed bipolar person. So if you know anything about bipolar people, their mood, they can be one person one day and another person another. So his mood, it seems like every few, especially in the last couple of years since Kim has divorced him, everything is somewhat going even more so downhill. I don't want to hear, hey, he's the richest black man in U.S. history. Okay, you got the money, but do you got the mind? You got the mind. Do you got the mind? Money obviously doesn't solve his erratic behavior. So on Tucker Carlson, he spews all that stuff, and he basically tries to clear it up and justify it. And Candace Owens pretty much is effectively on her way to being canceled as well. With this comes responsibilities. Freedom of speech, hey, it's a free country. You could wear that shirt. No one's going to take you to jail. No one's going to eat your lunch like that. But you have the freedom of responsibility as well. And now that Kanye has done this, he is, like I said, effectively been canceled. Social media programs, Instagram, and I believe Twitter have pretty much banned him. They cut him off a couple times before this, but I think this time may be different, because in their eyes, the White Lives Matter slogan, and definitely put on a shirt and publicize, is white supremacy to them. And all these social media companies, they're definitely leaning more towards the left than anything. So everything has to be cleaned up and perfect and tidy, and you can't go against the grain. And I understand Kanye was trying to do that, but like I said, it wasn't the best way. When I say he's gotten canceled, he's effectively on his way to getting banished from the U.S. And he got billions of dollars, so it ain't like he can't make his own damn island. But anyway, J.P. Morgan and Chase, they said they ain't gonna hold you easy billions no more. They ain't gonna touch you. They ain't gonna touch you no more. Okay, move to another bank. There's plenty of banks offshore, Cayman Islands, whatever you want to do. Swiss banks, put your money in there. Put your money in there. I'm sure that's not really hurting Kanye. But anyway, I don't want to hark on too much of the same subject. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And I think this right here is going to come to haunt Kanye. And the thing is, I think a couple of days after, what really got him ultimately banned from Instagram or Twitter or whatever, he put something on coming, DEFCON 3, on Jewish people. Didn't even spell it right. So he's ignorant. He's uneducated to a degree. People call him a genius. Yes, he's a genius. He's a genius at making beats, and that is completely it. You know, don't strengthen the negative people's narrative about us. He doesn't speak for 45 million, Black Americans. Like I said, most Black Americans actually don't share his same sentiment, and uh, somewhat they do. Actually, against Black Lives Matter, they do, but they wouldn't go as far to, you know, uplift one race above another. What's up with that? But there is a caveat to this, because the thing is, if he would have said Asian lives, if he would have wore a shirt Asian lives matter, nobody would have said shh. Nobody would have said shh. Hell no. Nobody would have said shit if he would have wore Asian lives matter or a Black Lives Matter shirt. So the hypocrisy, I see it in that. I'm a practical, reasonable person. If you are gonna have white lives matter, Black lives matter, have all the races. All colors matter. How about that? All human beings matter. Anyway, like I said, peep some of these clips, and I'm gonna share just as Kanye's thoughts, his thinking, because it really shows an insight into a billionaire's head. You really get to, even though this is something, he's a definitely something different than a billionaire than you would envision. But that's what makes Kanye Kanye. And I used to actually be a personally, I used to be a huge fan of the old school Kanye though. But now it seems like it's all fall down.